Hi, I'm Jeff Luty, the window expert. This is going to be a really fun video. I want to talk to you about how to choose the right energy efficient window for you, for your home, for your project, because it's not the same for everyone. So first of all, we got to talk about the main components that are involved in a window. What makes a window a window? Well, you've got frame and then you've got glass. And so today I've got some frame options out here in front of us. I've got some glass options. I have this unbiased little tool here that will help me identify different types of performance levels for different types of glass. And so we're going to have a good time. Now I'm going to say I'm here in Houston, our beautiful showroom where we have over a dozen brands of windows and doors. I'd love for you to come by here. You know, we have a location now in the DFW market, Dallas-Fort Worth. So if you're up in that area, we'd love to get to meet you too. And if you don't live in Houston or the DFW market, please check out my website, thewindowexperts.com. I have a list there of great window companies all over the country that I can recommend. Maybe I know someone near you. So I guess we should talk about frame materials first. So there's pretty much 4 frame materials, 5 if you count real wood, like wood windows inside and out. Very few people have real wood windows anymore. But other than wood windows, kind of not being around anymore, there's really 4 main ones, and probably the most common thing that you're going to find in new construction or in replacement windows, if you're looking for windows for your house, is going to be a vinyl window. Now, as you know, all vinyl windows aren't made the same. You're going to have different levels of quality even within the vinyl window, but a vinyl window is a very highly efficient material. I mean, vinyl is not a good conductor at all. It does not conduct heat. And so when your house is hot inside, it's not going to let the heat go through the window and back to the outside, or vice versa. If you're trying to keep it cool inside, your cooling's not going to escape through a vinyl window because vinyl is very, very energy efficient. Now, as you probably are aware, there are good vinyl windows, right? And there are bad vinyl windows. And when I talk about vinyl windows and I talk about having energy efficiency with a vinyl window, I'm talking about a premium vinyl window, a really high quality vinyl window, because frame is important, the frame material is important, but also the thickness of the frame material is going to determine how energy efficient it is. How it's structured, does it have foam in the cavities? This one has a little sliver of foam in there. That one does too. Some have, actual injected foam into the cavity. Those things are going to matter when it comes to energy efficiency. Also, how well does this vinyl window close? Like you can see on this one here, it's got a nice weather skirt on it, right? This weather skirt sits down against the bottom here. This helps keep the heat and the cool from transferring from the inside to the outside. But vinyl windows in general are going to be the most affordable option you can find, and they're going to be at the very, very pinnacle top of energy efficiency when it comes to frame materials. Now, another material we should talk about that's also energy efficient is going to be a wood window with an aluminum exterior. As you can see here, this is an aluminum clad over wood. Remember I told you we really don't have wood windows anymore in our country? We can get them, but not very many are sold because it won't last. The weather makes a wood window rot. Wood expands and contracts with humidity and moisture in the air, and so that's not good. It means it's not going to seal real well when wood's expanding and contracting. So what do? Well, we make it 2 windows instead. We have an outside window made out of aluminum, an inside window made out of real wood, and now you get the beauty of wood inside your home, this natural appeal of beautiful wood, but on the outside you get, this durability of aluminum, because aluminum, even though it's not energy efficient, it's strong, it's durable, it holds up to the weather. I mean, getting some hail damage on that is a whole lot better than getting hail damage on vinyl, for example, because vinyl can actually get more brittle with time as it sits in the sun and it begins to age. So this is a great product as well. I would say it's quite energy efficient as well. It's not quite as energy efficient as wood would be because this aluminum will get hot and it'll try to transfer and radiate itself through this frame and also try to radiate itself into the glass, which it also would end up coming into your home. Now, probably the least efficient is going to be an actual aluminum window where the whole thing's made out of aluminum. If you don't do something to break that transfer of heat and cold, you're going to end up with, actual hot house or cold house. If you notice here, this has what's called a thermal break. Okay, this is an actual bridge that's between those two sides. So this is aluminum inside, right, with a wood cover on it. This is aluminum. That is aluminum. If you did not have this bridge in here, and you can see it here from the side how big it is. If you did not have that bridge in there, you're going to conduct all of that heat back into the house if you live in a, in a warm climate, or from the inside of the house, you're going to lose all of that heat through this aluminum as it goes out. And so you can see, look at that nice big bridge there that keeps this from transferring in and out. And they put it right in the spot where the glass sits. They put it right there, which is perfect, right? Because we want to make sure that that glass is also not being coming in contact too much with the aluminum. So great job on this one. Nice weather stripping. This is something that also is highly energy efficient. But I'd have to say probably the most energy efficient you're going to get, in my opinion, and looking at the data, is going to come from a product like this. This is Infinity from Marvin. This is a composite window. This composite window is made out of pultruded fiberglass that has a co-extruded acrylic finish over the top. So it's like virtually maintenance free. It looks beautiful like an actual real wood window, like that wood window I showed you. You can see it's got these nice bevels and everything on it. You're not going to get that out of vinyl. And you're going to actually have a very energy efficient package with this. Why? Because they have a real nice weather skirt on the bottom of this, followed by another piece of weather stripping in there. And then you can see how they have right here is the bulb seal weather stripping up against that side, right? It's not like some of the ones you get with vinyl. Those can be made out of that sort of like furry stuff that after a time it collapses, right? But this is like the stuff you have on a refrigerator door. This is a really good seal. So this is highly energy efficient, not just because of the material itself, the fiberglass itself, but also because the way it's constructed and the way it seals. But here's something that you should consider about fiberglass, is fiberglass is not only very energy efficient now, it will be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, because it's a much more durable product. It's much stronger. It's 8 times stronger than vinyl. So you're not going to get this expansion or contraction, or you're not going to start getting sagging or bowing, right? Because sometimes you get a vinyl window, and after a period of time, this starts to separate, right? Because of being in the sun, this gets softer, it gets deformed a little bit. So you don't have that energy efficiency you started with. So I like to say all windows are pretty doggone energy efficient on day 1. Some are much more energy efficient on year 10. That's the difference. And when you have a product like this Infinity from Marvin, where it expands and contracts, together with the glass, now you don't have that shifting between the glass and the frame. And so you're going to have less issues with seal failures, less issues with moisture coming through, less issues with heat and cold being transferred. Pretty cool, huh? I like it. Can you tell I'm passionate about windows? So now let's talk about glass, because what is it? Frame and glass, that's the 2 key components to an energy efficient window. There's a third bonus one, so stick around, don't go anywhere. Oh, by the way, if you do like this video, would you please hit that like button? And don't feel shy. Go ahead and subscribe while you're at it. Now this is a spectrometer from EDTM. And you can see here we have double pane window. People say, oh, as long as I get double pane, I should be okay, right? No, not really. This is clear double pane, and a lot of window companies are totally done with clear. They don't do clear anymore, but you can get it. And I just wanted to use it so I could give you an example here of how it's working. The number we really want to focus on right now is the bottom right-hand corner, the SHGC. This is telling me how much of the heat is coming through. In this case, 0.75. In other words, 75% of the rays of the sun would come through this glass and into my home. Now that's going to be destructive on my furniture. Look, the UV, ultraviolet lights, 55% of the ultraviolet's coming through. But hey, there is one nice thing I get out of this. I get a lot of visibility. Look, 79% of the light is coming through. But the infrared, that's the part that heats my house. The infrared, 60% of that's coming through. That's not very good. Now we're going to put these up on a little chart here so you can see the numbers as I go. So at least you'd want to get double pane with some low E coating on it, right? Here's a double low E coating. And you can see that my ultraviolet dropped all the way to 10. Dropped all the way down to 10. Now my visible transmission dropped also. I'm not getting as much light. True, right? Because it looks like it's got a little bit of a tint to it. It's not tint, it's actually silver oxide. But look at the infrared. Look at that, 9%. Isn't that great? And look at the solar heat gain coefficient. All the way from 74, 75 down to 36, a 0.36. So I like this one. You know why I like this one? It gives me lots of energy efficiency without getting too dark, because you're going to see it starts getting a little darker as we go down the line here. So now we've got a triple coat of low E. And by the way, I've got a great video where I go in depth on low E coatings, and we do a lot of testing. You should check that out too. That's really good. If you notice here, now we go down to 4% under ultraviolet light. That's good. Ultraviolet is what damages the floors in your house, the curtains, the drapes, the furniture. Keeping that out is really nice. You can keep the windows open and not worry about the sun doing all that damage. 62% of the light's coming in, 61%. And if you notice the infrared, we're down to 1%. Man, this is exciting. That is really good stuff. Now, if you notice there, the solar heat gain coefficient, I'm down to 0.27, 0.28. So, gosh, that's really good. We sell this is probably what we sell the most in Houston because it's pretty hot down here. Most people do the 366. But if you have overhangs on your house, or you have some shade, or you're got a house next to you that blocks the west side of the house, we usually like to go with this one. But that's something for us to discuss with you and figure out what works best for you. Now this is the granddaddy of them all, right? It's still double pane, but it's got lots of low E coatings on it. It's got another coating, a special coating, the fourth coating. So I like to call this low E4 because it's got another special coating on it. And you can see what happens here. Look at that. That UV, 0 and 1. It bounces between 0 and 1. I mean, I have killed the UV in your house. Now, I did kill some of your light, too. This is 36% of the light's coming through. But look at the infrared. 0. 0's your hero. And solar heat gain is down to a 0.24. Wow. So you say, Jeff, okay, so now how do I decide? Now I'm confused. You gave me so many options. Okay, well, here's what I think you should do. I think if you live up in the north where you spend most of your time keeping the heat in and the cold out, I would say you're probably going to like something like this. This is going to have 2 coats of low E, but if you remember, what does it do? The infrared, you get 9% of the infrared coming through. You say, Jeff, I thought that was bad. Well, it's bad in the heat, right? But it's good in the cold because what that does is that allows the heat from the sun to help your furnace to keep the house warm. That's why sometimes in the winter, right? You see your dog laying right there, right in the front of the window where the sun's coming through and laying there and just enjoying and soaking up that sun. So I think if you live in a colder climate, you should do this, or maybe even consider triple pane, because triple pane will help keep some more of that cold from coming through, and you can also still get not too many coats of low E. What people do wrong, in my opinion, is they go all out. They get the window with the best performing numbers for heat, when maybe we want some of that heat to come into the house. So be careful for that. Don't fall for a salesman's trick that this is the most energy efficient because it keeps the most heat out. That may not be what's good for you. Now, if you live in the south where I do, and it's pretty warm and pretty hot, I would say the 3 coats of low E, this one that I showed you here, is really pretty much an ideal, sort of the gold standard, because I haven't sacrificed much light. I'm still getting 62% of my light. My UV's down to 4%. My solar heat gain is down, under the 0.30, which makes it Energy Star equivalent, or Energy Star qualified. And infrared is down to 0.1. I mean, infrared 0.1. That's really what we're trying to kill in a hot climate. But I can still see through this thing. I mean, it's not going to like just kind of darken my house so much that I'm wondering, why did I do this? Why did I get these windows? Does that help? Is that helpful? Now, I've got another couple videos that go in conjunction with this, like where I talk about our energy efficient windows worth it. Because you're going to spend a lot of money when you buy a really high quality window. Is it worth it? I mean, that's a good question to ask. You should ask that before you buy windows. And I've got a link to that down below. Go check that out. That is a really good video about that. And I just want to help you, right? I want to help you find the right window. I want you to find the right window company. Now, I said there was a third one. I said stick around for the third important factor. So here it is. Are you ready? Probably the most important thing on this list, right? It's not going to be what frame or what material glass you're using, but probably the most important part is finding a great window company, finding a great installer. If you put a great window in with a bad installer, it's a bad window. Even a great window like this Infinity from Marvin, installed incorrectly, it's going to suck, right? It's not going to work very well for very long. So think about that. Try to find a great installer. Find somebody you can trust, and then pick a window. They're going to suggest great windows. If they're a great window company, they're going to have great windows. Don't start by buying a window and then saying, who's going to install this for me? That would be the wrong way to do it. That's the cart before the horse. Don't do that. All right, don't forget to check out thewindowexperts.com. I'd love to help you with your project. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. I'll talk to you again real soon.